Today we are going to apply three-layered structure in our book API. Currently, our API looks like this. We do not have this service layer, right? The client is directly communicating with the REST controller, and REST controller directly communicating with the repository. We do not want that because currently we are exposing our database to the controller. It is less secure. So the correct way to develop the REST APIs is to add a service layer as well. We will quickly go back to our project and add the services layer in the project. Okay, I am in our book project. So what I will do, I will simply create one interface first, which I will name book service. Right? Okay, I have created the interface which is named book service. In this book service, interface, we will have 5 functions similar to the CRUD operations, right? So the first one will be public, which will add a book and return the book type object. So it will be named as add book. Then we will pass on a book object here. The second method will be to show all the books. It will show us the list of the books, which will be of book type. Then show all books. Okay, I have imported the java.util_list class. Without it, the list will not work. So, and the third function, which will be get the book by ID, right? So public, it will return one book. So I will use optional. It is better to use optional because it may happen that sometimes the book is not present, so it will accept null as well. So book, then it will be get book by ID, and we will pass one argument which will be ID. Then the next method will be to delete the book public, and we will return a string, right? I will modify it to return a string so that we get to know which book has been deleted. So string and delete book. Then we will pass the argument which will be ID, and the last one is to update the book, right? Again, we will use the optional which will be of book type. Then delete book, and here I will pass the argument which will be ID. Okay, so the last method will be to update the book. So I will create public, one optional again, optional, which will be of book type. I will name it update book, and we have to pass the ID of the book first, integer ID, and new data for the new book as well. Okay, so it will be of book type, then here new book. That's it. So we have created the an interface for the service layer, and we have created 5 abstract methods, right? These methods we have to implement in the service implementation class. So again, I will create one more class, which I will name service book service IMPL. Okay, it will denote the implementation of this interface. So what I will do, I will implement book service uh, interface. Now what I will do, I will go inside it, and I will go inside it, and I will quickly generate all the unimplemented methods here. Okay, so IntelliJ IDEA has this feature where you can generate all the unimplemented methods here. So all 5 of our unimplemented methods which we had created in this interface will be implemented in this book service implementation class, right? Very first and most important thing what we have to do, we have to annotate this class with service, right? Without this, the Spring Boot will not scan this class and the application will not work. Next, we have to inject the repository dependency here because we need to use the repository. So what I will do, I will use AutoWired, then private book repository, then repository. That's it. Now we are going to modify these methods one by one. So for the book, what we have to do, we will simply use repository dot save, and we will pass this book as an argument. Okay, our add method has been completed. Next, we have to show all books. So simply what I will do, I will use repository dot find all method. Right, it will return the list of all the books. Then next one is we have to find the book by ID. So what I will use, I will again use repository dot find by ID method. Here I will pass this ID as an argument. Next one is delete book. Right, we have to first we have to delete the book. Okay, I will remove this return statement. First we have to delete the book. Repository dot delete by ID, and ID I will pass here. And what I will do, I will now create the return statement. Here what I will show, book has been deleted with ID set, and I will print the ID of this book, right? And I will print the ID here. Okay, and the last one is to update the book. Simply here what I will use, if you want, you can also go back to our controller, and there is our book controller. Let me go to it, book controller, and you can just copy this statement, right? Copy this lambda expression here from here and paste it into our book service implementation, right? But what I will do, I will create it manually, so it will improve my efficiency. So return. Then what we have to return, we have to update the book. So first I will use repository dot find by ID. I will pass the ID. Then I will map it to a lambda expression. So it will be existing book. Then I will open the lambda expression inside. So what we have to do, we have to update the existing book dot set name from where, new book dot get name. Same will be for the author as well, at existing book dot set author. Then new book dot get author. So we have successfully set the name and the author of the book. Now we have to save it as well. So what I will do, I will return then repository dot save, and what we will save, we will save the existing book, right, not the new book. Okay, all our methods are complete in the service class. Now we will modify our book controller. Book controller, currently you can see the book controller is a little bit messy. So what we have to do, we have to just remove this repository dependency from here, and we will now use services dependency. Okay, book service, then service. That's it. Okay, again these methods are same. Instead of repository, I will use service dot save uh, add book method, because we declared add book, right? I will use add book and I will pass this book reference here. That's it. For finding all the books, I will again use service dot show all book, because we created the method show all book, right, in services. Next one is get by ID. Again I will use service dot get book by ID method, right, which we had created, and I will pass this ID here. Then I will for the delete mapping, I will also, then again for it I will also use service dot delete book. Okay, ID, I will pass the ID here. Now remember, we had modified this method to return a string, right? Because I can show you in our services here, we have created the delete method as a string which has to return a string. Okay, so here I will also, in the controller I will also make it just one second, book controller. Okay, I will also make it string. Okay, and what it will do, it will return book deleted by ID, and what I will do, I will simply print this ID. Okay, and the last, you do not have to write all of these things in the controller now, because we have already created the method in our service class. So what you have to do, you have to simply return service dot update book. Okay, because we had created this method in our service class update book, and I will provide this ID here. Then again we will provide new book, right, which we have taken from the user, and then in the JSON format. Okay, so our controller has been modified successfully, right? Now we will go back to our book application, and I will run it. Okay, our application has started successfully. Now I will go back to the Postman. Here, very first, I will run the home controller, which is localhost 8080. Okay, you can see the home controller has returned the hello world. Now I will go to books. I will get all the list of the books which we had added earlier, because we are using the MySQL, so the data will always be saved in the MySQL. Okay, you can see that I have two books with ID 7 and ID 8. What I will do, I will add one more book, post forward slash, no, not forward slash. Okay, I will have to provide the data here as well, JSON data, which will be, first one will be for name. Okay, I will do it like first. Okay, and the author. Okay, okay, I will send it. Okay, so the new name and author has been saved with ID 9. Let me get all the books one more time. Okay, now let us run the get book by ID. I will get the book by ID with 8. Okay, ID with 8, and send. Okay, it has returned the correct one. Now I will run the delete mapping. I want to delete the book with ID number 7. Okay, you can see book deleted by ID 7. Let us check whether the book was deleted or not. Okay, we have only two books left with ID number 8 and 9. The ID number 7 book has been deleted. Now I want to update the name of the Arpit. I want to change the Singh to something else. So I will run the put method for the ID number 9, right? And instead of Singh, I will provide Kumar. Okay, so it has updated the ID number 9 with name Arpit and author Kumar. So let us check again for the all books whether it was updated or not. Okay, Arpit Kumar. That means our API is running successfully and working properly. Now we will go back to our command line prompt for MySQL, and then we will check whether these data were saved correctly or not. I am in command line prompt for MySQL. I will enter the password. Then I will simply run the query show databases, right? So the book first one is for us, which is book database. Remember from the last video, we created the book database. Then I will simply uh, run use book. Okay. Now here I will run show tables. Okay. There's one table. Now I will run select from book. Why it's not working? Oh, I'm so sorry. Instead of from, it was a typo. I wrote form. So again, I will run cell. Cell. I will run again. Select from book. Okay, we have two data with ID 8 and 9, right? And I did not create this price because I was testing it earlier, so it created automatically. Do not worry about this price.